Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and we are changing things up for our Friday-Saturday video. I'm going to be featuring the battle mode Convoy on the public test server, which will come to World Warships in patch 10.8, if I believe. So, as you saw, we started off. This is the battle. The map is Islands of Ice, and we are on defense duty. So there's two options that you as a player will log in as. You'll either be defending the convoy, which you have 4 transport ships to protect, and they all, well, one has to make it to the rendezvous point you see on the mini map on like C9, or maybe it's D9. Or the second option is as a defense of the convoy, you destroy all enemy ships on the enemy team. And then the other way around is if you are on the enemy team and you're attacking the convoy, either you must destroy the 4 transports or destroy the enemy team defending those 4 transports. So you're going to kind of see how that differs here and what happens. So this battle is actually short, as you saw the battle duration time. So I actually have another Massachusetts video behind this one, just for you to kind of get a feel for this. And I'm going to talk about the big thing I've noticed so far with playing the public test server with Convoy. One, I think this game mode is phenomenal. Like, this is the best thing Wargaming has done all year. And we've wanted something like this for a long time. Like, I think something like this in Ops would be fantastic, even if it wasn't against enemy human players. But, I mean, I like the element of enemy human players, of course, in this. But the biggest thing I've noticed is I see players, whether they're on the defense team, defending the convoy transports, or on the attacking team, is I notice that there's just not playing the objective. So for our team, you can see that myself, I'm focusing on playing the objective, which is to defend the transports. It's a little bit tricky because the 2 biggest things, challenges you'll have in playing convoy mode is your positioning and playing the objective. If you at least get the objective down, that will help you in such a long way. But positioning is a little difficult because a lot of these situations when you're set up here is that you're broadside to the enemy team. So, like, I love using priority target on Massachusetts. Just how I've always played the ship, and there's another battle I avoided torps from an Odin just because of having priority target. But it tells me how many are focusing on me, and I know I can look around and see who is of the ships targeting me, if I need to slow down, turn in, turn out, that sort of thing. So the positioning here is a bit tricky, but, you know, with Massachusetts, you have the 40-second cooldown on the heals as we lose our first transport, so on and so forth. So I'm divisioned up with Doom and Void, and so far we've taken out 2 of their enemy destroyers, so they're actually doing a really good job of screening where they are at. Both have been very effective in that position. So when you are a destroyer player, you want to screen between the convoy and the enemy team. And you can see here, I'll talk about what the enemy team does wrong, is that they're getting bottled up behind where we as a convoy are going, because they can see the line that we're taking. And see, they're just, you know, coming down the 2-3 line here on Islands of Ice. Instead of like looking to cut us off more towards where the enemy Amalfi is on the 5-6 line. Like, that should be more the intercept point. So we lose our Massachusetts who charged in, but now there's kind of like this delaying action. Like, if they want to catch up to us, they have to go full throttle, but our team has positioned themselves to be able to intercept. So I think, yeah, Void's back there, and we have another Massachusetts player. And then I'm playing with my throttle. I'm speeding up, slowing down, but I'm also just slowing down because that's the biggest threat is behind to the rear of the convoy, these 2 battleships. So I'm slowing down. I have a full secondary build on Massachusetts with the update 10.7. I've switched back to that if you caught my Massachusetts upgrade and commander build. But I'm slowing down, letting my secondaries do the work and focusing on these 2 guys. And then we're keeping an eye on the Malfi. You can see I keep looking over to see what the Malfi's up to. And our team has done really well with this positioning. The enemy team just completely went around towards the rear, and they should have done better to actually like cut us off more on the 5-6 line. Like you want to intercept point. Even the destroyers, enemy destroyers, like if you're attacking, you want to get more towards a ambush. You want to set up an ambush position. You know, and if I was on a destroyer on an enemy team, I would do that, the 5-6 line. But and that's why Void and Doom, they're just playing screening and defending the transports. I mean, when you're a destroyer, you can have smoke as well. But the game is actually about to wrap up here. It was just literally that quick as Amalfi goes to make this broadside turn that I saw him going to do. And we're going to wreck him for 2 citadels. And the game's already over. It's like less than, was that 5 minutes, 4 minutes of battle time? And that's just, the enemy team was just so uncoordinated. They weren't playing the objective. And you'll kind of see more of that in the next clip that we'll have. So 74,000 damage. We destroyed for 189 secondary hits, so it's nice to see secondaries are back. And I'm enjoying using them on Massachusetts, and I'm enjoying playing Massachusetts again as well. And then moving on to team score. Placing second on the team with 1,008 base XP, and Void taking top place. He's been very effective in Z23, so I would say Z23 is definitely a good option, especially with the Hydro you have on Z23. He's really effective to catch those destroyers who smoke up within your hydroacoustic range. So you can see the damage laid out there. So, chunked them mostly pretty well outside Cleveland. That was a bit more still kill. Yeah, so the battle duration has 544. The battle was less than 5 minutes long, just by the time the enemy team started engaging us. So you will have short battles like this, and you may have some longer battles. The next battle that's about to load is, I think, it's 8 minutes battle duration time, but I mean actual battle time is less than 8 by the time you get in position and everything. So we're on a loop. Yeah, battle duration 8 minutes 15 seconds. So it's actually going to be less than 8 minutes of actually engaging the enemy as they draw and get close. So we're on convoy duty again, defending them. I was hoping to actually be on attacking team, but every time I played Massachusetts, I played 3 games last night. It was repeatedly, again and again, on defense. Now, tomorrow's video, Saturday's video, I'm actually going to feature Convoys again, but in a cruiser. And I think it is the best cruiser of the cruisers I've played for Convoy. It's just a fantastic ship. So I'm not going to tell you what that is till tomorrow. But if you're on a Discord server, you probably already know what ship I'm talking about. So here we get set up. We're moving up. We have 3 destroyers per team. Kind of see what's going on. The lead terrible is very fast. So because we have 3 destroyers, I'm actually going to switch back to high explosive. And I'm also going to experiment with that here against the battleships too. And then eventually you're going to see me switch back to armor piercing. So yeah. So the objective, right? I keep talking about the objective. Really, if you're the defending team, you want to stick with your convoys. I keep seeing players who abandon the convoy in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to go a complete different opposite direction than where the convoy is going. And if my convoy comes under attack, then you're completely out of position to defend the transports. Like that's the goal. You keep you keep at least one of the 4 transports alive, and you win the game. So I keep seeing players abandoning the convoy. So you need to stick with the convoy. If you're destroyed, of course, you can move out, screen in advance, but stick with the convoy. Like that's the name of the game. So with having the HE loaded, we have this the French destroyer coming at us super fast. We get 2 incapacitations, but completely miss. Now, other thing I do need to say, like in the previous battle, you saw like most of their team was pushing in the left rear rather than intercepting us. And so the 2 Massachusetts players I was with, they both turned off and to engage them. So that was a good call when you see that happening. But you're going to see some other battles where the enemy team is just not doing well, like the enemy destroyer here. He just rushed with engine boost going, so on and so forth. And he gets himself killed instantly because our destroyers, they're screening. They're working basically as a wolf pack. So that's really effective. If you're a destroyer player, you don't need to go defending the convoy. You don't need to go way far away. Like you want to be somewhere between the convoy line, between the transports and between the enemy team. That's really most of the time we want to be, because when you screen, you're screening right now. So see, we had the one of our destroyers, the Akazuki. He picked up these torpedoes, which they end. But the transports will actually dodge torpedoes when they know they're coming. Now this Veneto, he just DCP'd one fire, so I'm going to punish him for that here shortly. With a love tap from Doombeagle. And now I'm going to line up an HE Savile on the Massachusetts. So I'm just kind of experimenting, just setting fires right now. They're actually showing a good, decent bit of broadside, so armor piercing could actually be really good here. But I'm going to keep my HE loaded up for the one more time, because we're going to punish the Veneto when he pops out of cover from behind the island. Now the transports do smoke themselves up. They kind of, different ones will do it from time to time. So that actually really helps a lot, and helps keep your ships in the game. So, you know, here there's some open spots in between these windows between the several islands. So keeping the transports alive is really important. You can lose a couple, of course, you're fine, as we get double fire on Veneto, now loading armor piercing. But the more you keep alive and help with their health pool, it's really going to help. Even taking torpedoes, you get an achievement, I think living shield, if you're within a certain proximity of transports, protecting the transports from taking damage. So got a nice broadside there on the Bismarck, I believe it was. 2 pins, 2 pins. And so we're finding our window. I don't think these torpedoes, actually none of them hit, because you can actually see the transports are already maneuvering to dodge. So that's another thing. So the transports are smart. They smoke up, they can avoid torpedoes, and that's basically the two biggest things they do. And they don't slow down either. And you're going to see, even if you get in their way and block them, they don't slow down. So Doom and Void already know what I'm talking about, as we'll see here shortly. Now this team, compared to the last enemy team, has done a little bit better in trying to set up an ambush. Now if you notice, we haven't even seen the third enemy destroyer. Like, he hasn't just appeared at all. I think he's maybe dumped some torpedoes, but that's basically been about it so far. And so I noticed that I'm getting to the right of the transport line, so I'm going to start correcting that and turn in. Also because Doom needs some space as he moves up. So you can see there's a transport there smoking up. Our transports are actually all really healthy. I don't know if any of them have really taken any damage at all. So the enemy team has been kind of struggling, and we still have our whole team. We haven't lost one ship yet. Oh, as I say that, we lose the Akazuki to the Bismarck, and we lose the Odin. Me and my big mouth. But we've done good, regardless. Doom's going to push me into this torpedo. He's such a good clan commander. And we're waiting to see this Talon Bismarck come out broadside to us. And now you're about to see what happens when you get in front of a transport. It's going to happen to Doom here in just a moment. So very effective if you're stuck on someone and you need transport to push you off of them. Very effective. Now there's another humorous thing that's about to happen here as well, because the Key has torpedoes. Doom fired his starboard side a little bit ago, and now he's about to fire his port side. Now notice what happens when he fires his torpedoes. He just fired them. We get living shield, even though they're friendly torpedoes. It's rather humorous. So got secondaries going. This Talon's just pulled out full broadside. So he's actually losing health quite quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch targets. The enemy destroyer actually just popped up, and now we focus on the Bismarck. Now the enemy destroyer, I don't actually know how well he was effective in helping his team, because I didn't catch if he was the one responsible for killing the our Odin. But now, because he was basically out of the fight for the most part, not assisting really with the other two destroyers, he's just on his own, sitting in the rendezvous point. And when we still have all 4 transports alive, it's going to be impossible for him to actually kill, because if you look at the mini-map, look at how our team's positioned. He's got 4 ships between us and the first transport. This is ideal. Like, this is literally what you want to see in a situation. What I see in this situation, which you're going to actually see in some of tomorrow's videos, or some clips I'll have in the cruiser I will feature, is that there's like not many ships actually defending the convoy. So defending the convoy, that is your sole objective. It's to defend the convoy, and then you can see about, if it actually works out, we actually kill all the enemy team, which you see is happening. And that happens along the way with defending the convoy, when you fully knock out the enemy team. So in all the defense matches I had, we actually never got to the convoy just because we were killing the enemy team repeatedly. So here's what we have with post-battle results: 82,000 damage, 2 destroyed, 50 secondary hits, so we didn't have as much secondary action in this battle with our 2 achievements that we got. Looking at team score, just over 1,000 base experience. And I did compliment the Akazuki player. He did a really good job with his positioning and screening between us and the transports and the enemy team. Just phenomenal. Going to detailed reports, you can see the damage layout here. We got a little bit of everybody besides 1 player for the most part. And again, the battle duration, 8 minutes, 15 seconds. So these battles don't always tend to last very long, so actually really good for getting XP and achieving different combat missions, if you will. So, and going to, again, the personal score, I just want to sum up, we've showed 2 videos today of what it looks like to defend the convoy. The Massachusetts, if you have it, is a fantastic battleship in my opinion, just because her secondaries, you got that quick 40-second cooldown on the repair party, and yeah, just phenomenal battleship when it comes to defending it and even attacking. I've had a lot of fun with Massachusetts attacking the convoy as well in those scenarios. So you just have to remember that the 2 biggest things, one is how you're positioning, and then you could say the objective is number 1, then your positioning is number 2. But you really, really have to pay attention to those 2 things: playing the objective and your positioning. If your positioning is bad while you're trying to defend the objective, you'll die rather quickly. If you're not playing the objective and you're just trying to focus on, you put yourself out of position, you go to the opposite side of the map where the convoy actually isn't heading. If you're defending or you're attacking, you're just wasting time. Either your objective is defending the convoy or it's destroying the convoy. Or you can see along the way, like in both of these 2 battles, we just destroyed the enemy team completely before we even reached the rendezvous point. So play to the objective and just see how you're positioning. You can set yourself up well, whether you're attacking the convoy, being in an intercept point, or defending the convoy. Just position yourself well, be mindful of the torpedoes, and when your teammates screen, like destroyers screen, catch enemy torpedoes coming in, your transports allows them to dodge. So be mindful of that. So yeah, make sure to stick around, catch tomorrow's video. I'll be featuring, I think it's literally the best cruiser for this game mode. It's just phenomenal. I've had so much fun in it, and it's just so deadly. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. And if you haven't subscribed, thanks. I really appreciate it as we continue to grow the community here with you. So until next time, take care.